Good evening, ladies. In today's video, I want to construct the perfect crypto portfolio heading into the 2025 crypto bull cycle. Now, this is going to be quite similar to my own personal portfolio, but not exactly the same. It's as if I had a blank slate and could start over. Now, I obviously don't think you should 100% just copy my crypto portfolio, but I think there's going to be some valuable insights in this video and some potential coins you could take a look at researching for yourself, and with those insights you could construct your own crypto portfolio that will suit you the best. So how would I construct a perfect portfolio? So I would only look at very low risk coins, and I'm saying low risk in terms of crypto risk, which is high risk, but nevertheless a bag of low risk, still high reward coins because we're in crypto, and then also a bag of very high potential return or coins. Now these also will come with a lot more risk, obviously a lot more chance of going to zero, so we'll talk about those coins towards the end. But I'm looking at coins that have at least 100x potential, and if it doesn't have 100x potential, or if it's not relatively safe, like a very established coin, then I've no interest in it. I'm not interested in coins that have like high market caps but only have the same kind of like 10x upside that Bitcoin or Ethereum has. Like, there is no point investing in those coins, in my personal opinion, that have maximum 10x upside, more likely 5x upside, have like market caps in the high hundreds of millions or even billions, and have already gone through a cycle. So the kinds of coins that I'm looking at for the higher risk plays have low market cap, so in the low hundreds of millions or even less than $100 million market cap, and they haven't gone through a full cycle yet. So they're just new coins, because new coins have no bag holders who have bought in at higher prices, so there's no one waiting to exit. It has no resistance essentially. And I also want coins that don't have inflation, or they don't have VC insiders waiting to dump on you. So the coins I'll mention at the end don't have any of that. No inflation, potentially even deflation, no insider VCs, that kind of thing. Now I think we have 1 year left to accumulate good coins at cheap prices. 1 year maximum. Now this chart is showing the different ranges that Bitcoin goes through. This grey zone lasts about 1 year, but this chart assumes the top was November 2021 as opposed to May 2021. Now May was like almost topped out at the same price, and it was peak euphoria in May. November, it was a double top for Bitcoin. So if you imagine the top was actually May, then we have even less time to accumulate. Factor in that people will potentially be front running the 4-year cycle. Maybe we have even less time to accumulate before crypto takes off again. So now is 100% the time to be DCAing. Don't be worried if Bitcoin drops below 20 or Bitcoin gets to the low 20,000 levels. Like, that doesn't matter. When Bitcoin's going to be going to 100k in the next couple of years, it's not going to matter if you got in 10% lower. So I think now is for the next year, great time to be dollar cost averaging into certain coins. So let's just start off. What coins? How would I construct my portfolio? Now, it's not going to come as a big surprise, but my main bag would be and is Bitcoin. So a lot of people in crypto will say, okay, Bitcoin is over. There's no point investing in Bitcoin. You're not going to get such a massive return. Ethereum's going to replace Bitcoin. XYZ is going to replace Bitcoin. And I couldn't disagree more, to be honest. Bitcoin has the lowest downside, but still has plenty of bullish catalysts coming up. First, I know everyone has been talking about it, but the Bitcoin ETF is going to come within the next few quarters. So probably within the next 6 months, there will be a Bitcoin ETF. And plenty of people saw what happened to the gold price when the moment that the gold ETF was launched. Gold just went to the moon. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% going to happen, but it's a huge bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. It unlocks a huge amount of capital that can flow into Bitcoin finally. To add to this, I think Bitcoin, as I said, has the lowest downside, and I also think it's going to be the first mover in the next cycle. Like, it always is the first mover in the next cycle. So that means having a nice bag of Bitcoin means you can get the upside of Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin's starting to peak. So if Bitcoin is the first mover, the play here is once Bitcoin starts really mooning, you can sell a bit of your Bitcoin and buy some altcoins, because altcoins tend to lag Bitcoin quite considerably. So if you play it right, and I know that's a little bit advanced for some people, most people probably would be better to just sticking to simple strategies, but that is a strategy a lot of people employ that works. When Bitcoin goes crazy, you might want to take a little bit of profits out of your Bitcoin and invest in some slightly lower market cap stuff. Maybe it's some of the coins we'll mention further on in this video. And then when those smaller market cap coins go up, you can sell them into US dollars. And that's probably that's the playbook that has worked for the last 2 cycles and potentially will work again for this cycle. So that's another handy reason to have Bitcoin on hand. It's going to be the first mover. So you can multiply your gains by getting a nice 4x on Bitcoin, then buying a shitcoin that goes 10x. I also foresee in the next bull cycle, a huge number of companies will add Bitcoin to their balance sheets. In the last bull cycle, we had a few, not very many whatsoever, but I think a handful of Fortune 500 companies, maybe even one of the mega caps, will add some Bitcoin to their balance sheet. And I think it's possible for them to add Ethereum, but I think it's much more likely that they will add Bitcoin to their balance sheet than Ethereum. And I also think there is a good possibility that some central banks will add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. For example, Argentina could add Bitcoin to their balance sheet within the next year, in my opinion. I think that's a possibility. And there's plenty of other countries that could do this. This will open massive publicity for Bitcoin if retail sees that companies, mega cap companies, are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, and other countries, they're going to study it a bit more and see what's going on with Bitcoin, and then they'll realize, oh shit, maybe I should own a little bit of this as well. Now, I didn't mention at the start of this video, but I'm a long-term investor, so that means any of the coins that I mentioned in this video, I'm planning to hold to at least the next bull cycle. So I'm not taking profits in the next few months, nothing like that. That's not how I invest. I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term investor. And I think that works for 95% of people better than trying to be a trader. Now, the next coin obviously is going to be Ethereum. No surprises, so I won't talk about Ethereum for too long. But if a Bitcoin ETF comes out within the next 6 months, it is very likely that an Ethereum ETF will follow it. At the moment, I'm not super, I haven't really been adding to my Ethereum position. This is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. You can see for the last few months, you can see it's in a bit of a downtrend. It had a double top there and has been in a downtrend ever since, with lower highs and lower lows. So until Ethereum can break that resistance, and that's probably not going to happen until the next bull run kicks off, till Bitcoin has gone up and then Ethereum will have to catch up with it, I think Bitcoin is the better play at the moment as opposed to Ethereum. However, I wouldn't have no Ethereum whatsoever, and I also think Ethereum is very handy to have for the next cycle, because once Ethereum pops off, like what you did with Bitcoin, you sell some Bitcoin to buy some altcoins. When Ethereum goes crazy, the play here is to buy some Ethereum NFTs. So in the last cycle, Ethereum went to 4,000, then it cooled off, let's say it went back down to 2,000. If you had bought some Ethereum NFTs, you could have got another 10x on that, or another 20x, or some crazy returns. And I think that will happen in the next cycle. Now, I do also think that NFTs right now have probably bottomed. NFTs are down extraordinarily bad, but they're not really trending down anymore. They're kind of trending more sideways in Ethereum terms. So it seems like to me they have bottomed, but nevertheless, I think still it's probably a better play to hold Ethereum and then sell the Ethereum after Ethereum has popped in the next bull cycle, sell it for NFTs. I also think it's good to have some Ethereum in your wallet for any potential opportunities that come up. That could be, like most shitcoins are built on Ethereum, and a lot of the things that you do in crypto are on Ethereum. So it's good to have Ethereum in your wallet, a good amount that you can quickly take advantage of an opportunity, whether that's a new coin or whether that's a new NFT project. Now, if you're a fan of watching my videos, or if you watch a few of my videos, you'll probably be able to guess the third coin that I would construct in my portfolio, and that would be Solana. Now, I've been very bullish on Solana for the last 6 months or so, and I've been buying Solana hand over fist. So the thesis on Solana is extraordinarily simple. I think you could just left curve this one. So you can either left curve it or right curve it, just don't mid curve it. So the left curve would say Solana is faster and cheaper than any other alt layer 1 or any other layer 1. So with the right curve. So the fact that it is extraordinarily fast and extraordinarily cheap, but also remains very decentralized, gives it some interesting use cases that are just not possible on Ethereum. So it's not directly competing with Ethereum. It has a different use case to Ethereum, and it's better suited for things like gaming and stuff like that, as opposed to Ethereum, which might be better for financial applications. Now, I'll link some videos that I've dug much deeper into Solana if you want to watch them, but I do think Solana has 20 to even 50x upside in the next bull cycle. So that's why I've really been trying to make it a core position of mine. And those three are the main horsebacks of my portfolio. And the next few coins, like, I'm putting very small percentages of my portfolio in, but I do think the following coins have 100x upside potential. Not saying that they're going to reach there whatsoever, but at least the potential is there, and that's what I want. I want extremely high potential, but with that extremely high potential does mean, like, be extraordinarily careful with these coins. The likelihood of any of them going to zero is also quite high, so keep that in mind. None of these positions would make up more than 2% of my portfolio at the moment. Potentially maybe up to 3, maximum 5%. I wouldn't go higher than that. Now, before we get into the more degenerate coins, I do have some honorable mentions. So these kind of make up parts of my portfolio. I'm not saying this will be a 100% great construction of the portfolio, but I do have some Ethereum NFTs in my portfolio, and I also have some friend tech keys. So if you don't know what friend tech is, I've done a couple of videos on it now. I'll link them in the description as well. But I think friend tech keys, like, I am quite bullish on friend tech. So if you own some friend tech keys, you're going to be farming the friend tech airdrop. And the other great thing about friend tech, if you're buying good keys of people who, you know a lot about crypto or have more experience than you can ask them questions, and you can get their insights about crypto for the next bull run, which could be extraordinarily valuable. And potentially those keys go up. And if you don't know any friend tech keys, of course, you can always go buy mine. But yeah, I'm chatting in there every single day, so if you want to talk to me, scoop up one of my friend tech keys. They're less than $100, and you can always sell it on again if you don't like it. But I definitely do think friend tech is something to watch. Now let's get into the coins. So like I said, I want coins that have very low market caps, huge potential upsides, no insider VCs, no inflation, that kind of thing. That's kind of the perfect construction of a coin for me for the next bull cycle, and that it's going through its first cycle. Now, a coin like that might not have come out yet, so you have to keep your ear to the ground for these kind of new coins that are coming out, because there could be coins that fit that description that haven't come out yet. But one coin that does fit that description that is out is Unibot. I've talked about Unibot extensively in a couple of videos. So Unibot is making the UI and the UX for investing in shitcoins and investing on Ethereum, investing in coins, much simpler. And as DEX volume becomes a higher percentage of overall volume in the crypto space, because that's the way it's trending at the moment, decentralized exchange volume is increasing, and as more people come into crypto, you're kind of selling them the shovels. Like, you can just bet on the entire market of shitcoins without having to pick individual shitcoins by investing in Unibot, because more and more people will use Unibot to buy these shitcoins in an easier, faster way without getting their transactions sandwiched and having to play high slippage, and making it way easier. So even though it's cheaper to buy coins using Unibot have set up these private transactions so well that Unibot itself makes really good fees. So the revenue for Unibot has been exploding over the last few months because so many people have been using it. And where did the fees that Unibot earns go? You actually get a revenue share. If you own 10 or more Unibots, you actually get a revenue share. You get a kickback from these fees, which is really nice. So you'll increase your Unibot holdings. If you went ahead and bought 10 Unibot, your holdings would increase over the next year. Now, the problem with this coin is that it's very reflexive, meaning that when shitcoins are going up, or when shitcoin mania is going on, Unibot is going to print fees. But right now, like, shitcoins are taking quite a bit of a breather. There's less interest, there's less publicity on shitcoins, less people are trading them. So the Unibot fees are trending down at the moment. So that means their fees generated are also going to trend down, which will also make people potentially sell Unibot. So I don't think you need to rush into buying Unibot. But with every coin here, all these coins are very volatile, even in the bear market, all these lower market cap coins. So I think a strategy of ideally trying to buy these bottoms or try and buy when the coins are down is ideal, but if you want to keep it simple, just DCAing over the next year or so rather than just lump sum is probably a good strategy, because yeah, these coins are very volatile. So, but the fact that Unibot is so reflexive means that in the bull cycle, like when shitcoin mania is going crazy, can you imagine the kind of fees Unibot will be generating? And people will want a piece of those fees, so they'll go ahead and buy the Unibot token. Another negative catalyst in the short term is that Banana is taking market share from Unibot. So this is a competitor that has launched recently, but their team is clearly incompetent and no match for Unibots. They couldn't even launch a simple ERC20. When they launched, they messed up their contract for their Banana token, so it was a complete disaster. So I can't imagine that Banana token or the Banana team will outcompete the Unibot team in terms of new improved features and stuff like that. To add to Unibot, its price to earnings ratio is extraordinarily low. So on a fundamental analysis basis, it's extremely cheap. It has a price to earnings ratio of 1.6, which is just obscenely cheap. Like usually people say crypto is always way overvalued. It's nothing tied to the earnings of a product. But if you found a stock in the stock market that had a price to earnings ratio of 1.6, you would that just almost never happens. It's maybe if a company's about to go bankrupt or something like that, then you might see it, but you never see a price to earnings ratio that low. But Unibot actually has it, and so this is an example of cryptocurrencies is actually obscenely undervalued on a price to earnings metric. Another coin that is potentially obscenely undervalued on a price to earnings ratio is Rollbit, and that's the next coin that is making up this portfolio. Rollbit has no VCs, it has no insider funding, the token has been fully distributed, and the token is actually being burnt from the platform revenue at an extremely fast rate. So Rollbit is an online crypto casino, and casinos, the house always wins, so they make a lot of money. They make a lot of revenue, they make a lot of profits, and they use that revenue and use those profits to buy back the Rollbit token. And they've already bought back and burned 35% of the outstanding supply of the Rollbit token. And by the time the next bull run comes around, they will have burnt at least another 25% of the token. So with most tokens that you invest in, like in crypto, there's more tokens to be dumped on the open market. And there's VCs with insider tokens, or there's inflationary staking rewards or something like that. With this, you actually have the exact opposite. A price to sales ratio of less than 2. So just like with Unibot had a price to earnings ratio of 1.6, this is a price to sales ratio of less than 2, and I think about 60% of their revenue is profits, because it's a digital business. They don't have a huge amount of overheads. Here's a comparison with DraftKings, which is a public Web 2 online casino. So it's not a crypto casino, and it's on the public markets, and you can see the valuations for Rollbit, just much cheaper. So I did this chart in my last video when I did a deeper dive into Rollbit, but these are some expectations that if Rollbit got to if it kept growing at the rate that it's growing, which is obscenely fast, so currently it has annual profits of 50 million. By the next bull cycle, it would have profits of $1.5 billion. So you can see I put $1.5 billion as the max amount of profits on the bottom left that this chart goes, but it could actually exceed that if they grow even faster, which they might going into a bull cycle. But let's just be a little bit conservative, because it's growing at 200% annually, which is just insane growth. So that's enough growth anyway. So on the left of your screen, you have different profit targets for what kind of profits it should be earning annually in 2 years' time, and along the right axis is a different multiple that you could put, or a price to earnings ratio that you could put on top of those profits. So if you multiply those two figures together, you get the market caps for each varying price to earnings multiple multiplied by each profit amount. And in the table on the right, That's where I've calculated the multiple from today's current price of Rollbit. I think it's about 15 cents if it were to get to that market cap. Now I've also included the burn from the burning of the Rollbit token in these multiples, but you can see in the best case scenario, if it had a price to earnings ratio of 50 times, which like a company growing that fast could, but that would be a very high valuation, and it had profits of $1.5 billion, then the market cap would be $75 billion, and that would be a 200x from today's price. Now that's the best case scenario. I don't think that's very likely, but you know, you get the idea. You can kind of work it out for yourself. If maybe it's only making profits of $500 million and it has a price to earnings ratio of 30 times, and then you're still looking at a 40x. I think that's a reasonable potential scenario for Rollbit. But this coin also comes with a lot of risk. It's an online casino at the end of the day, so yeah. That's why he's saying just 2% of your portfolio or something like that, you know. But as you can see, like, this coin could potentially be extremely undervalued, and I did a lot of researching into the stock market. I used to be a stock market investor more so than a crypto investor, so I kind of know how to value a company, and if this was a company, everyone would say this is just obscenely undervalued. The same goes for Unibot. Now the final coin, the one coin to rule them all, the coin that lived, one of my favorite coins, it is Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu. So obviously that's a meme coin, but the good thing about meme coins is there's no inflation, the coin is fully in circulation, there is no like valuation to go off, there's no earnings that you have to go off, it's just pure memes, it's just pure vibes. So the potential upside is like anything essentially. The potential upside is just essentially infinite, because you know it's not, there's nothing weighing it down, there's nothing bringing it down to earth. But obviously there's a huge amount of risk with meme coins. There is no fundamental value whatsoever. This is just for fun, obviously. But Dogecoin, let's remember, in the last cycle got to a market cap of $69 billion. Potter, Sonic 10, Obama Inu is at a market cap of $60 million. So if it got to Dogecoin's market cap of the last cycle, that's over 1,000x from here. And we have to factor in that the next crypto cycle will be even bigger than the last one. Now I don't know if meme coins will be such a big thing as they were in the last cycle. Probably not, because there won't be all this free money, won't be as much free money going around. Not as much stimulus as there was in COVID. That was just a crazy time. But I do like having a small amount of a meme coin in my bag just for shits and giggles. I don't think 1,000x is going to happen whatsoever, but could it get to a $6 billion market cap? Yeah, absolutely, in my opinion. I think Shiba right now has a $6 billion market cap. Like, who the hell still buys Shiba? So I do think this coin is really loved by the crypto community. Unlike Pepe, which now has been tarnished, but like, you know, shady founders and stuff, I think Harry Potter doesn't have that negative light on it yet. Potentially it will, so obviously big risk with it.
This token is the end game. It's a shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 and you coin. Oh! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit peoplesbitcoin.org.
Now I also have an honorable mention of a coin called Libra Finance. I'll leave a video for that there, but I don't want to go through it in this video because it's going to be way too long of a video. But that's kind of how I would construct my portfolio. A barbell strategy of good, solid, safe coins, and then small little coins that could really, you know, explode in the next bull cycle, but might have a little bit more risk. But yeah, that's roughly how I'm setting up my portfolio for the next bull cycle. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I know 100 people are going to comment, oh, you missed this coin, or why are you shitting on my coin? You forgot about this coin, my bags are going to go to the moon. How could you not talk about my bags? Look, there's literally like 28,000 different coins. So if I didn't mention your coin, you know, get over it. Like, I can't research 28,000 coins. I'm just, you know, I'm just one man, even though I might seem like 10. I But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Talk to you in the next one. Cheers.